lovelies. Captain Edward von Arkham here, coming to you from on board the MHS Hysteria. This week has been full of delicious discoveries. We have interviewed every last person on the list of captives mentioned in Professor Peasley's manuscript. We've been to Rome in Sulla's time, Egypt in the 14th dynasty, 17th century France, 26th century Australia, Cimmeria, all over the place and time. And we have found out quite a bit about the great race of Yith. We have learned how they communicate with each other, how they reproduced, about their system of government. We've learned that they had enemies, that they didn't like stairs, what they ate, that they had an army. But we still haven't learned anything about how the race switched minds with their transtemporal targets, or how they managed to carve their entire civilization out of the chronosphere. We know it has something to do with the strange machines built by the Yith whilst in their captive bodies. Yet on what principles these machines operate, or what manner of technology they employ, we remain completely in the dark. The machines are always assembled in absolute secrecy, piece by piece, and with anachronistic technology acquired from unrecorded suppliers. Professor Peasley writes in his manuscript that the only persons to view the machine, other than himself, were a workman, a servant, and a housekeeper. These three describe the machine as a queer mixture of rods, wheels, and mirrors, of about 2 feet in height and 1 square foot in width. Concerning the disappearance of the machine and Professor Peasley's return to his proper consciousness, we have followed the details meticulously. Friday, September 26th, 1913, 5 o'clock p.m. The Yith in Professor Peasley's body dismisses the housekeeper and the maid until noon of the next day. 8 o'clock p.m. A man described as lean, dark, and curiously foreign-looking, arrives at Professor Peasley's house, leaving his automobile parked outside. 2:15 a.m. A policeman observes the house in darkness, and the stranger's motor still parked outside. 4 a.m. A neighbor suffering from insomnia notices the stranger's motor is no longer there. 6 a.m. Dr. Wilson of Arkham receives a phone call from an unidentified man with a foreign voice asking him to call on Professor Peasley's house and bring him out of a curious faint. 6:30. The professor is found unconscious in his sitting room, all of his papers found burnt in the fireplace, and the queer machine was gone. 11:30. Professor Peasley regains consciousness with his proper personality restored and no memory of the last 5 years. So the Yith needed someone to dispose of the machine after the act. We've been going about this investigation from the wrong angle. It is clear that this lean, dark stranger has some connection with the Yith, and we're going to find out what it is. Professor Peasley writes that the telephone call was later traced to a public phone booth at North Station in Boston, which is where we're going next. Well, that's our time for today. I'm off to prepare a disguise for the mission. Until next time, stay mad, my duckies. Inconspicuous.